have an extremely obsessive compulsive personality. We had leftovers from the birthday party a couple of days ago, and last night I was sitting right here and I grabbed the pizza box, and there was probably a pizza and a half, so I ate that. Then I grabbed the box of wraps, spicy chicken wraps. There was a good 2 or 3 full wraps that were cut in pieces. I ate all those. You know, obsessive compulsion can be used to your benefit. For example, excessive compulsive exercising, or excessive compulsive healthy eating, or obsessively compulsively editing videos in order to complete them for the next day. But man, when you obsessively compulsively eat in order to, you know, go through leftovers that might go bad the next day. It was spicy down below all last night. And then Mom had a coffee late, and that coffee went straight through her body, into her breasts, and into this little thing, and she was getting down all day. Boop, 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 boop. Anyways, how's it going? Tomorrow my mom's gonna be here. Got a room kind of set up. It's very good stuff. It's also Friday, Fishy Friday. I'm gonna do some things. I'm gonna go to the local fish shop and check out what they got. I'd like to do some things. I'm not gonna talk about it in the vlog. There's just gonna be a Matt's Reef tank. That will be my Fishy Friday project. Oh, we've got to get the Munchkadoodle's passport. So we're gonna go to the police station again and get the final documents so that we can get her passport, so we can start making sure, that she can go to the States. So we're gonna do November with my mom here, and then December in the States with my family, and we'll all go back together. Speaking of, if you guys are trike people or fish tank people, you've recommended me some things to add to the trike or add to the fish tank. I'm going to buy those and have them in my family's home when I go back to the States, so that I can bring them back with me and then try some new things with some products I might not be able to get so easily here in China. That's the beginning of the vlog. Let's see where it goes from here. Just FYI, for today's vlog I'm gonna do something a little bit different. This is a DJI selfie stick and the DJI mini tripod. It's very cool. It doesn't have the articulating function of this bendy tripod, but I feel like it's a little bit more stable when I hold it. Either way, I thought it'd be fun to try that out and see if, you know, I can get better shots with it, or if I'm limited by the fact that I can't wrap it around a pole or whatnot. I'm gonna get dressed, and then I will meet you later. We are headed to the police station first for the passport. Well, let me do a different spin. I'm gonna go up and down. So I will see you later. Okay, we changed plans. Tomorrow I'm not gonna drive to Shanghai. I'm gonna take the train to Shanghai, pick up my mom at the airport, and then we'll take the flight, a domestic flight back. One more ride. Right now we're going to the police station, and there's a lot of people here. Why is it so busy in front of the police station today? I know it doesn't look the same, but we got our passport visa stuff done. We'll be ready November 11th before we go back to the States. She's sleeping. Talk to you later.
You guys sleeping?
If you were to ask me what is the thing that probably scares me the most, what is my biggest fear, I'd probably have to tell you growing old. I don't mind the idea of aging, but the fact that we decay at a certain point and then pass on to the next, whatever the next might be, that is not a happy thought. I am so optimistic about the future of the world. I have this app, it's called Quora, Q-U-O-R-A. If you guys want to be inspired every day with new information from smart people around the world, I suggest you get this app and subscribe to the science section, or really what's your fancy. Basically, people ask questions around the world and then other people answer them. And the funny thing is, in the science field, you get a lot of NASA people, astronauts, people that work on the space station, people that work, you know, in thermodynamics and all sorts of stuff, answering questions from regular people. I look at it all the time. It's inspiring. For example, do you guys know what the moon smells like? Well, an astronaut answered the question of somebody that posted that question on Quora, and the answer is gunpowder. The moon, if you set foot on it, you wouldn't be able to smell it, to be honest, because there's actually no air or atmosphere to smell it. So your sense of smell would not work, not to mention that you're encapsulated inside a airtight, hopefully airtight spacesuit. But the astronaut that answered that question said that when he went and walked out on the moon, this guy, it's amazing that it's almost like you're having a conversation with the guy that did it. He said, well, when you're walking out on the moon, you collect a lot of dust because the moon is very dusty. As a matter of fact, they were worried that the landers, when they came down on the moon, were actually going to sink into the dust. And they had theorized that there was a lot of dust, but they didn't know how much. Luckily, it only depressed into the dust a small amount, and there wasn't as much as they had worried themselves about. They got themselves dusty, and when they went back into the lander and then took off all their gear, they noticed a very pungent odor, and it was the odor that they can most closely resemble to gunpowder. That was something I learned a few days ago. Anyways, if you have time to check it out. There was another question that was like, what does the future hold for humanity? And it was talking about how in the far distant future, you know, maybe a million years or, you know, greater, you know, we're gonna change. We're gonna change to the extent that we're not gonna look like this anymore. We might have ourselves uploaded in the computers and be a whole different thing, you know. And to me, that is exciting. And if possible, it would be worth the wait. And some people say they couldn't live forever. They state that life would be boring, or things would get monotonous, or, you know, they would be saddened too much by the loss of everybody around them. And I can understand all of those things, but I think that I could take it. There's just too much of this world to explore, not to mention so much unexplored that I can't even fathom, you know, like where are we gonna go? The reason I bring this up is because Annie's grandma, you've seen her in my videos, she's in the hospital right now, and she can't remember anybody. Annie's sister went up to her and said, do you know who I am? And she said, well, yeah, you're a woman. And that was about as far as it went. Annie's crying a little bit, and I said, why don't I go and visit her? So I'm going to the hospital to visit her. Maybe I can jar her memory for a little while, but I'm not sure if Grandma is gonna last the winter. And it's sad, you know. One thing that Grandma always wanted was to go to Beijing and see Tiananmen Square. It's sort of like a rite of passage in China. It's something that everybody in China tries to, you know, fit into their life if they're, you know, no matter where they live in China. And Grandma had never been there. And Annie told me this, I don't know, about 6 months ago. And when she did, I said, well, let me take her. I'll take her to Tiananmen Square and deal with, you know, everything. She's frail and old, and she just turned 90. At these points in life, you've got to kind of take whatever opportunities you might have. So I said I'd take her to Tiananmen Square, I'd take her to, you know, the Forbidden City, and, you know, push her around a wheelchair, whatever it took. Unfortunately, she became incontinent right after we had kind of conceptualized doing this. And she said she did not feel comfortable going on a trip if she was going to be, you know, messing herself. And I guess I can understand that. I even said it'd be no problem for me to change diapers, you know. But I can appreciate what she's saying and the reason behind it. It's sad that we have goals in life and things that we want to do, and the simple act of aging can take those things away from us. Grandma, you know, was once a young Chinese woman. Before that, she was a Chinese girl. Before that, she was a baby, just like Eva. kicking around, looking at her mother's eyes, smiling a no-tooth smile, and making people around her happy. To me, that is sad. That is a shame that we go through life gathering intelligence, gathering experiences, gathering tools of friendships and knowledge and, you know, different skills that we gain through life in order to make our lives better, or in order to make life more fulfilling, or in order to feel love, you know, through somebody that you meet. And all of those things drift away, you know. In some cases, you pass on with your intelligence intact, but in other cases, you pass on with a lacking, with things disappearing. And those skills, those memories, they all disappear. I hope that when I walk in there, she'll open her arms up like she does normally to give me a hug and say, "Mata!" you know? But in some ways, I hope she doesn't, because what a shame that would be, that she remembers me, but she does not remember the people that really care about her in her life for the longer term. Not that I don't care about her, but it's different. They're family. That is one of the major reasons that I do this vlog. Because even now at 37, I think I'm 37, I can't even remember what age I am, okay? That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. My memory is rough. I forget things very easily. I forget moments. So when I finally got my hands on a camera and started recording and capturing life, I thought this was a way that I can retain knowledge. This is a way that I can make things last. Even if I forget them, I can always look back on the video and remember them. The problem with that was that I was gaining video and storing it and building this collection of video that was so disjointed and didn't have a, you know, an edit, basically. It was just disjointed memories of instances cataloged by file names, and these file names didn't relate to what the video was. So even if I wanted to look back on a moment, there was no way for me to do it. Then I started vlogging. Those disjointed videos coalesced into a narrative of what I did that day. I had to think about it. I had to say, okay, I'm gonna record this and this and this and put it together in such a way so that, you know, the story of today comes through. And every day we live life, there's a narrative. Whether it's hanging out at a house all day, maybe it's reading a certain amount of emails, or maybe it's going out on a trip or going on an adventure. We all have narratives, even if they're mundane, they're still distinguishable. I've learned that. Every day has something interesting or something unique. These vlogs helped to not only capture the moment, but convert it into something that was not only visually interesting and followable by me, but also useful to people that don't even know who I am. People around the world watch my videos and say, yeah, you helped me think about China, you inspired me to do this and that, or you just gave me something to pass the time. That is invaluable. That's amazing. In a way, these vlogs are physical manifestations of my memories. I was just thinking about that. You know, if Eva wants to look back on these when she's 30, what will YouTube be? What will be the vehicle for these videos? Hopefully they will still exist on whatever the internet may be in the future. Annie's grandma's life is encapsulated within her fading mind and the mind of those around her. Annie's father and family, they have shreds of memories, shreds of moments in her life that they can remember. But once we go out to grandkids and grandkids go out to great-grandkids, those memories dissolve, and then with the essence of that person's life, the history behind that person, it fades away too. Nobody can capture a life like the person living it, you know? Like, I live my days, even I look at my videos at the end of the day, or maybe I look back on them after a month and I go, wow, that was an interesting day, or that was an interesting thing. And people that are in like the succession of my family even, or Annie even, might never have even seen that moment in my life. And if I forget it, it's like the tree that falls in the forest and nobody's there to see it. Did it really fall? Did those memories even exist in the first place? Did you actually do that thing that only you saw and only you interacted with and therefore forgot? And did that really happen? Now you can say, yeah, it did. It's vlog episode 142. Check it out, you know? Put a smile on your face while you look at the past of my life. These vlogs, as much as they are interesting to the world, they are a gift to myself. They are a vehicle to not only remember, but also retain. Keep the moments in my life as fresh as the moment I lived them. That's amazing. Because even those of us with great memories, over time, it's like the through the grapevine theory. You start to distort the facts of the past, and pretty soon what actually happened and what you remember happening is quite different. There's no cheating a vlog unless you edit it to cheat in the first place. I mean, you get to orchestrate your own narrative. Sorry for the diatribe. Anytime I'm exposed to some sort of situation like this, it makes me think about life, you know, and how short it is. I've heard many people say, I would get tired with 100 years. Holy cow, guys, are you serious? 100 years? That is nothing. That is a dot on a dot in the whole grand scheme of the world and the universe. I could live 100 years in one place, right? People do it all the time. People don't travel like I do, most people. I could live one place 100 years and then go to another place and live a completely different life for the next 100. And then go to the next place. I mean, you ever meet somebody for the first time and feel totally and utterly revived? A personality that makes you feel like going out and dancing, or somebody that you really care about comes into your life and you feel like you've got a renewed lease, you know? And sometimes people go and you feel like the world is over, you know? Somebody exits your life and you feel like it's the end, but then you meet somebody else. I mean, it's a cycle. I want to be in that cycle for as long as possible, and I want to remember it as much as possible too, you know. I don't know how long I'm going to do these vlogs, but so far they've given me the potential for capturing my life in a way that not even this mind can capture. I wonder what Annie's grandma's vlogs would look like if you could look back on, you know, her life through some sort of a lens, a produced video of this woman who lived in China 90 years ago. Gosh, what was life like then? Anyways, I'll be to the hospital shortly. I'm not going to video in the hospital, but I will conclude this narrative story vlog when I get back out. Maybe this will be good enough, this little conversation about life. Enjoy as much of it as you can, and remember as much of it as you can, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'll talk to you after I get out of the hospital. See ya. All right, just got out visiting her. She's rambling, just constantly semi-coherent, but mostly incoherent, just talking. Apparently she's been doing this for 3 days, just non-stop speaking. You know, we are born with this amazing computer, you know, our brain. It only takes a few wires to cross to make that computer defective. And I don't know, I'm no doctor. It just seems like her computer is not working properly. That's just an example of why you got to cherish every moment that you can, and try to remember those things that you can, and make the best of everything that you do. Because it's not infinite yet. Maybe someday. With that, I'm gonna sign off. Jayoe, subscribe, like, share. Really, I mean, you guys know what Jayoe means? Anybody new here? Jayoe in Chinese means add fuel. It can mean like add fuel to a car, but it also means do the best you can. Add whatever fuel you need to succeed in whatever endeavor you're trying to succeed at. Whether it's a race, whether it's a project for work, or whether it's your life in general, just add fuel to whatever you can to make it the best possible scenario for yourself. So I have adopted Jayoe to mean add fuel to life. And that's what you gotta do. Jayoe, add fuel to life. I'll see you tomorrow. My mom's coming to town. She's definitely gonna add a lot of fuel to her life over the next month. I look forward to helping her do that. Take it easy. Again, have a good one. All right, bye-bye.